At first he spots what looks like a shadowy figure, but as he pans the camera up and down to be absolutely sure, the figure suddenly bolts across the window. But who or what could the figure have been? Let us look into the history of this place to try and paint a picture. Say that things didn't exactly go according to plan.
Gritaron. ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es eso? No sé. ¿No fue un balazo? No sé, yo no escucho. Muy fuerte. A ver, vamos afuera. A ver si no entra alguien. No, pero allá afuera. ¿Dónde está el vehículo? Se escuchó algo fuerte. Sí, mírate ahí. Sí.
Some minutes after midnight, they began to sense an eerie presence nearby, until suddenly they heard what sounded like footsteps from a distance. Probably not wanting to give in to their fears, they convinced themselves it must have been some kind of noise from outside, so they decided to shut the door behind them to block it out. But boy did that turn out to be a big, big mistake. Take a look.
¿Qué es eso? Uy. No, güey. ¿Qué es esto? No es en el techo. Eso no es del aire.
Guíanos a donde estás.
No, no, no. ¿La trabaste?
¿Viste que la había dejado cerrada?
¿La trabaste?
As they turned to continue investigating, someone or something mysteriously cracks the door open, leaving them in utter disbelief. They knew there was absolutely no way it could have been done by a person, as the place is completely isolated. And who in their right mind would turn up to such a place at that ungodly an hour, aside from them? Did you also notice how his skin was covered in goose pimples like a Thanksgiving turkey? We can also see how firmly he closed the door, and there still appeared to be a force that was strong enough to open it. Well, it wouldn't be out of place to assume that the door was opened by a really strong wind. We thought that too, until we saw what one of their eagle-eyed viewers spotted right after the door opened.
Yes. No manches. Algo se movió allá. Alumbra. Alumbra. Alumbra, alumbra, alumbra. Alumbra. Yo vi que algo corrió. ¿Ya viste? ¿Qué es eso? Abajo. Entre la puerta. A ver, cierra eso. Vamos a cerrar eso. No manches.
What looks to be a pure black shadow person seems to be watching them from the darkness, but when the camera pans in that direction again, it's gone. They never noticed the figure until after they'd uploaded the video to their channel. And putting all of these events together, commenters believe that the pool is still a paranormal hotspot and home to the true terror that haunts the dreams of the people who've been there. But what's your take on this one? Real paranormal activity? Or did we miss something? Let us know. Number 4. The Weeping Woman. This spine-tingling video was uploaded on the YouTube channel Paranormal Globe, and it was recorded deep in the woods of Cordoba, Colombia, by a group of friends who stumbled upon a mysterious figure. Coincidentally, these local residents have long spoken of a strange figure that's tormented the little kids in the area, so seeing the uncanny resemblance that this entity had to the one rumoured to haunt their village, they whipped out their phone to have it on camera, and this is what they caught. The figure appears to be that from the scary-ass ancient folklore La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, and the boys believe that this is the ghost that's been haunting their village and they just might have discovered her resting place during the day. In fairness to them, the figure does dead-ass look like a woman covered in a veil. A very accurate description of the La Llorona. However, some folks believe that they probably saw a bird, or perhaps it was a branch from a nearby tree. But what do you think? Were they paranoid to think they'd spotted a ghost? Or do you think that they were lucky to even have made it back alive? Number 3. Prank gone wrong. On a cold Tuesday morning, these dudes couldn't think of anything better to do than to mess with an old man who lives alone in the nearby neighbourhood. The old man would get constantly harassed by these boys because of his looks and often strange behaviour. On this occasion, they went with their camera in hand to film their latest prank on the poor old man. Little did they know that they were about to uncover a deep, dark secret. This is the footage they recorded.
Fuck, it's cold. Come on.
Merry Christmas.
Come on! Oh shit! Okay.
They set a paper bag on fire right on his front door, knocking to draw his attention to the mini bonfire situation. And while it's unclear what they'd hoped to achieve with these pranks, it's safe to say that the old man didn't like it very much as he chased them across the road. After escaping the fury of the old-timer by the skin of their teeth, naturally they decided to return the next day for a rerun of their prank. However, they didn't know that the old man was ready for them this time and had a few tricks up his sleeves as well. Tricks that would prove costly, especially for the boys. Take a look.
We're going to get this old man again. Last time we almost gave him a heart attack. He ran all the way across the street, so here's another shit bag.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. Holy shit. What are we doing? Get out.
Get your phone. What are we gonna do?
These kids.
It's gonna be right now. Shit.
Trying to rescue their friend, who quite strangely managed to get a serious beatdown from the old man, they ran around to the back of the house, only to get knocked out cold by this shovel-wielding grandpa. The clip sparked quite a reaction on the internet. People were mainly stunned to see an elderly man overpower 3 young boys without getting so much as a scratch himself. While many were just in awe of the old man, some were quite quick to point out that he could have so easily been a retired hitman or a secret agent like those ones in the movies. And since nobody actually knows his background, their theory might hold water. We can only hope that those boys got a second chance. Number 2. Haunted from birth. This next video was sent to us by one of you guys. It came with little to no context as well, making it all the more unsettling. The footage appears to be taken from a couple's bedroom. The wife seems to have woken up from strange noises coming from the living room. Not wanting to wake her husband, for God knows why, she instead arms herself with her phone to go and see what it could have been. And what she captured was a paranormal cocktail that will leave you gasping. As she rises from the bed, she turns towards the living room and spots something ghostly right by the door before it pounces and knocks her to the ground. While the clip might come off as being too good to be true given how fully formed the apparition was, let's not be too quick to put this down as a fake video. Because what if she had encountered something sinister that night? We can't say for sure why she was attacked by a malevolent spirit. There's always a possibility that something genuinely sinister was caught on camera that day. But what do you think? Real ghost sighting? Or another great piece of spooky entertainment? Let us know in the comments. Number 1. Whispers in the Dark. Keanu, known on Reddit as Keanu Kiala, uploaded this terrifying video that's been giving everybody chills. After putting his little daughter to bed, he headed out to the back garden to take care of a few things. But not long after, he received an alert on his phone about movement in the baby's room. Thinking that his little princess had just woken up, he quickly pulled out his phone to check the camera feed. But what he saw on his screen left him both puzzled and terrified. Here's what he caught. Nothing seems out of the ordinary here. Just a little girl who woke up right after her dad left the room. Right? But the devil is in the details. For starters, the camera seems to have caught whispers or someone blowing air on her. We can clearly hear the heavy breath here. And the most chilling part about this sound is how she reacts afterwards. It's kind of like the fight or flight reaction most babies get when you blow a hair on their faces. Did you also notice how a chunk of her hair dangled like someone was playing with it? Yet Keanu swore that everybody else was asleep and nobody could have been in that room at that time, as we can clearly see on camera. Okay, let's say the hair moving was caused by the ceiling fan, which Keanu claimed was on then. But then how do you explain the other sounds? Mere baby noises, her breath, hell, a gush of wind from the window? The windows were shut, and the room was pretty much isolated from all of the others, so we can strike out those possibilities. And also, it is an old house with loads of mystery. One thing's for sure though, nobody would ever wish to experience that nightmare alongside their kids. The scary video we're about to show you will have you second guessing that cheeky ghost walk you and your mates had planned. Japan is pretty well known for being chock-a-block with old, ghostly urban legends, and these guys were putting them to the test. They heard from residents of the village they visited that the local cemetery was haunted, specifically a nearby phone booth. Many reported unsettling sounds bursting out of the claustrophobic box at stupid o'clock, but none had been able to muster up the courage to check it out. In an attempt to uncover the mystery of this supposedly haunted area, these guys brought along some cameras to see what they could find. But they would have never expected the grisly end they were met with.
ダメだ。プープーずっとプープーだよ。ちょっとダメっすよ。出たガスだ。誰？わかんないっす。わかんない。誰？こっち見てる。
見てますね、見てますね。
電話待ってんじゃない？
いや、わからないです。
気持ち悪いけど。ホテル1階じゃん。
わかりました。
だって電話待ちだったらあれでしょ。あれ？あれ？
いない。
いや、そこにいたじゃん。
でももう今いなくなっちゃう。
普通に怖くね？
What in the fresh hell is that? No wonder nobody went to have a look. If anyone did, they probably got eternally cursed to the shadow realm by this horrific ghostly bastard. The strangest thing about this video is the fact that the figure outside might not even be the same thing that grabbed the guy's feet. The locals always said the whole area was haunted. So could this have been the work of multiple entities? Because the last thing you need in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night is some sort of spectral ambush. Number 6. Drive-by. While zooming down the motorway in the dead of night, this guy felt nothing but vibes as he let the cool, dark air envelop his entire body. But that all changed when he noticed something out the corner of his eye. It was fleeting, but he had to rub his eyes to double check, but he was sure there was something amiss about this late night drive. And his dashcam footage confirmed every twisted suspicion he had. If you missed it, don't worry, it's pretty hard to spot. So let's slow down and zoom in. A bright white figure appears to have a death wish and tries to step in front of the car. It looks to be wearing some kind of skirt and has no legs. Was it waiting for this specific guy to come barreling towards it? Or was it doing this to every car that flew by? Could it be the phantom of merging lanes? A poltergeist told me you enjoy scary videos like this. But don't subscribe just yet. We'll earn your subscription by the end of this scary compilation. Number 5. The White Cloud. This guy decided to venture into a house rumoured to be one of the most haunted abandoned houses in his local area. There were mass sightings from multiple nearby residents of what they claimed to be a white cloud lingering around the property. He had explored the house a while before, but conducted no real investigation. Although he left with the significant impression that there was a lost spirit there, something incomprehensible. So he hot-footed it back there with all the right equipment and set up shop, hoping to find some answers. But those answers were much more sinister than he could have ever thought. He said that the house felt like some kind of horror film, that there's something trapped in there that you can't quite fathom. And with it being in such a state of abandoned decay, he knew he had to dig deep to try and make contact. Which is when he began getting some joy from the EMF reader.
В этом доме со мной может выйти кто-то на контакт из мира мертвых.
Да.
Кто вы?
Душа.
Как вас зовут?
Александра. Дом не отпускает.
Что с вами случилось?
Меня убили.
He finds out that the spirit he's been talking to took its last breath inside that very house in a tragic accident. It doesn't end there, however, because as he started quizzing the spirit on the details, he noticed that it was much more than just a disembodied voice coming through the EMF reader.
Сколько вам было лет, когда это случилось?
Приходят.
Вообще. Что-то включился, что-то. Вы можете мне ответить? Вы еще здесь?
The scariest thing about this video is the simplest thing of all. How easily a life can become seemingly abandoned. The EMF session didn't reveal much in the way of explicit detail, but the words of the supposed spirit and the state of the house tell a much more emotional horror. While family do visit this person's grave, they left the home immediately, and it looks like nobody's come in to even try and clean the place up. Is it that easy to be forgotten? Was this YouTube video the first real interaction this spirit has had since its untimely death? We didn't see any spooky white clouds, but we did see the spookiest thing of all, the macabre reality of the distant future. Number 4. Ghost Kitchen. While chilling out and chatting to the bartenders, these restaurant goers were sent home with full fear responses as well as full bellies, because there was some horrific hospitality offered at this eatery, and it wasn't the actions of any of the waiters. Not exactly the dictionary definition of ghost restaurant, but it'll do. All jokes aside though, how could that have even happened? Both of the patrons even went right up to it and touched it, so there couldn't have been anything attached to it. Those decorative lantern doors also tend to use latches, so for the door to swing open like that, the latch must have been physically lifted, which would have been near impossible with a string anyway. Some commenters seem to think it's a faked video by the restaurant company to attract more customers. But surely, if that were the plan, something much more extravagant would have happened, like bottles flying at heads or shadow bastards materialising out of nowhere, not just a slowly opening lantern door. Number 3. Phantom frivolities. This guy learnt the hard way that the Chinese Ghost Festival really doesn't disappoint when it comes to quality scares, because it looks like the festivities latched onto him. The famous festival happens on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, so mostly in August or September each year, and it commemorates the opening of the gates of both heaven and hell respectively. People come from far and wide in China to offer the spirits food and drink, chant scriptures and burn joss paper. Somehow the worshippers managed to dodge the real awful haunting scary stuff, and it all got lumped onto this guy, who decided it was a great idea to investigate an abandoned house in the midst of this terrorfest. And the footage he captured does not disappoint either. Now this is creepy enough without any context, but apparently this house was devoid of any power at all. So how did the TV freak out and how did the curtains close? And if the electricity is gone, there's no way it could have happened, unless there was some kind of spark that brought the house to life for a few seconds, but that seems almost too good to be true, doesn't it? He sucks in a breath and grounds himself before moving through to the stairs, trying to piece together whatever or whoever the hell was causing all these disturbances. But as you'd expect, he was left with more questions than answers.
Oh,